Welcome on stage, Sherry Roberts.
She got her own thing, that's why I love her. Miss Independent.
Hi.
Won't you
Hi,
come
Sherry.
and
Welcome.
spend a
Stage is
little
yours.
time?
Great.
She got her
Good morning, everyone. God, I feel like I just walked in front of the Oscars with that lovely music. So my name is Sherry Roberts, and I'm the CEO and founder of a company called The Longest Stay. Just make sure this is moving. Here we go. So nothing like to start off a presentation about the entrepreneurial journey which I had, and also the online retail business that I've built, and I want to share with you some of the things I've learned along the way. So you got to be brave to show baby pictures of yourself first thing in the morning, huh? So here where it all began. When I was a little girl, my mother used to make all my clothes, for better or for worse. But she made all my clothes, and she used to collect fashion magazines, and I used to say, but Mom, make me a pillow, make me a throw, make me a cushion. I want to paint my walls. So I had this passion for interiors, and she had this passion for fashion. Anyway, fast forward from my childhood up to my teenage years, my mother also had a very strong work ethic. When I was 15 years old, she said, well, what are you going to do after school? You must get a job. And I'm sure she thought, go find a babysitter or something like that. Instead, I went up to a massive corporation in America, big corporate insurance company, and I was 15. I said, listen, I want a job. And I ended up starting my career in insurance at 15 to about the age of 18. I actually wore a suit and went to work every day after high school and earned a salary. When I was 19, I went off to university. I quit my job, but I decided to turn my dorm room into a travel agency, so I could fund my entire university trip by taking people on holidays and spring break and have a great time at the same time. So after university, my mother said again, time to get serious, no more travel agency, you gotta go to Wall Street, you gotta do something, you know. So again, I found myself moving to California, and I found a beautiful building that I loved, and I went inside the building. I said, I wanna work in this building. I rode the elevator till somebody took my CV and said, we're gonna give you a job. And that building was AT&T. So I started my career technically in telecommunications, which ended up in mobile tech, media companies. I've spent the last 20 years in Europe, building all kinds of technology businesses along the way. Well, then one day I met this very gorgeous Italian man at a conference, and he said, you're so miserable, but you're so beautiful. So of course, I fell for him. And he said, please marry me, come live in Rome, and be the entrepreneur you've always been. I thought, finally, freedom to do whatever I want. So what did I do? I decided I'd go back to my travel business, and I would build a hotel. And this building is actually the palazzo I chose in Rome. So I'm going to take this, going to make a beautiful hotel, put all of my beautiful things inside it, and do exactly what I want to do. And he said to me, but actually, you don't know anything about the hotel business. I said, you're right. You better figure it out. So I ended up going to a school in Switzerland called École Hôtelière de Lausanne. They were the best in hospitality, I was told. And they gave me what was called an entrepreneur scholarship for 2 years, which meant, they said, you might think you're coming in with a hotel, but I guarantee you're not leaving with a hotel. They said, you're going to go ahead and do what's called validation. So I went on this long journey, right? And this journey was about looking at every business, every problem in the sector. I had all these students doing market research. And what did they do? They came back with this great research that said, people want to buy what they see in luxury hotels. Now remember, this is in 2008, 2009. This is quite some time ago. I said, okay, that's interesting, but that's not really a billion-dollar business. That's a niche business. I want something really big. So okay, let's keep digging. So they kept digging, and then they found out that people want to buy what they see in the back of home decoration magazines. I said, now that's true, because at the back, you got to call a retailer, or you got to call an interior designer, and you can't actually find it. I said, so that's a really interesting business. I said, let me go a little bit further. So I started talking to a bunch of Italian suppliers in the furniture sector, saying, how do you trade these days? Oh, just retail. Would you go online? Oh, no, never. And from 2010 to 2012, I literally spent my entire time trying to evangelize the Italian industry and trying to get them to come onto an online platform. I said, what if I create a website? We'll call it The Longest Stay, all about furnishing a home you never want to leave. It becomes your longest stay. I'll make it look like a magazine. I'll put pictures of hotels in there and products from hotels. Would you then join? And they said, okay, we'll then join. I said, we'll create, shoppable content. So this was in 2012, before companies really had digital magazines or blogs or any kind of content like that. So it was really quite new and inspiring. So with all that, I got very excited. I raised my first angel investment from tech investors in the UK that knew me from the past. And I said to my lovely husband, I said, we're ready to go. Let's go to London. He said, okay, I'm ready to go to London. And unfortunately, right before we were moving to London, I had a very, very tragic news that he actually died from a heart attack. So he couldn't come with me. And I had to choose at that very difficult time in my life, do I go ahead and build this online business? And of course, I didn't have any choice except to say, of course, I'll go ahead with my life. So I looked at my team, brand new team, and I said, guys, we got to launch this, whether I'm in good shape or not, in the next 3 weeks. And we launched this website in 2013, literally 3 weeks after I had my husband passed away. This is what the site looked like. As you can see, it was a very glossy kind of editorial style magazine. This was before companies like Net-a-Porter actually had her magazine out. So we started with about 20 brands. Today, the website looks like this. We have our own digital magazine that we produce every quarter. We have over 300 brands. We have 9,000 products. We sell to high-end affluent customers. We sell to interior designers. We've shipped to over 15 countries. People spend an awful lot of money on our website in one basket. It's really exciting. And everything that we've created has been the same from the beginning, the vision of creating an editorial-styled website where you can get what you see in the back of magazines. These are a whole bunch of the brands we represent, and I can honestly tell you I have a queue of probably over 100 that would like to be part of our website, which is a real compliment. It took many years to even get the first 5 to join. So what makes us so unique and so different? It's our personality, because e-commerce is really hard to differentiate. I can't tell you how many investors I speak to that say, but e-commerce, you can't differentiate. It's all about price. They don't understand, actually, that you can build a brand within a brand. Look at how Richard Branson built Virgin, right? So what I've done is I've taken kind of myself and my personality and I put it out there and said, I'm going to style the shoots, I'm going to go and select the product, I'm going to write my own content, I'm going to have a tone of voice, and I'm going to be the person the customer relates to when they come to The Longest Stay, because people buy from people. So that was fundamentally at the core of what I've done in this concept. And again, you'll see these shoots I've done this because the fashion and the interiors. As I remember, my mother made the fashion, I went to the interiors, I merged the two. So today you see kind of a fashion-led interior style look, which makes us have a bit of a personality. So companies like The Dressing Room now are doing CEO personality as well, but I have found very few that do this apart from myself. And then you have a company called Avenue 32. Avenue 32 also does heavy editorial. I mean, look at that screenshot. But this is coming out now. So it's really good to see that this content, we always say content is king trend, actually really has manifested. So customer service. Okay, we always hear customer service is important. I can honestly tell you, if I didn't have good customer service, I would not have a business today. That's one of the key things that differentiates me from anyone else, is people feel not only can they rate our service, also our products. All of our competitors don't ask what they think of the product because it's a third-party product. In our case, we want to know the product, because if we find it's bad feedback, of course, we're going to change the supplier. So we put ourselves out there to take as much criticism as possible, which only makes us a bit better as a company. We also offer what's called Divide Buy. It's interest-free credit for 12 months. It allows the mass market to approach our website and feel they can buy something that's luxurious, pay it over 12 months and not pay any interest. And then, of course, simple things like free delivery in the UK, or making sure we register customers for international delivery. And we also have a big trade account for international interior designers and architects to get quotes for projects. So our vision, this is so important because e-commerce, I feel, is just one facet of what we're doing. It is one vehicle of an omni-channel strategy. So we have e-commerce, we're about to go into retail because I fully believe the click to mortar to click is fundamental in any business you do. It's not just about, do you have an e-commerce business? Do you have a retail business? You have a business that trades whatever channel the customer expects to get service from. So we are going to go into the retail space. Next, product. Because it's ruthlessly competitive out there with pricing, we definitely want to have our own product line, one, so we can control a bit of the margins. And we're actually launching our first luxury bin, believe it or not. So it's a rubbish bin. And it's not for the website. It's actually for trade, because we've gotten so many inquiries from interior designers and yacht owners. So we've launched a private label that's going to the B2B sector. And maybe if it's successful there, we'll make a version for the website. And the third aspect, property. Well, this goes back to my hotel vision, the longest stay hotels, where you can buy everything you see in the hotels on our website. So whether we own the property, we manage contract the property, we just furnish those properties, property is very much a part of my bigger vision. And this is how you create a billion-dollar business, by looking at the future and looking at all the different ways you can extend your vertical brand, not just see you have an e-commerce business, you have a much bigger business. So do's and don'ts. So I don't know how many of you are in the startup business or have established businesses, but I cannot stress enough to validate your idea. I have so many competitors. How many times have they changed their website, or they've copied something, maybe even on my site, and they're just trying to figure it out kind of by hoping to get the website right. If you know the problem that you're trying to solve, you don't need to change your website over and over and over. For example, I always knew I was solving the problem. People want to buy what they see in the back of home decoration magazines. So what did I do? I created a site that looks editorial, and I've never deviated no matter what the trend was. And I think if you really find that problem, you don't have any problem with e-commerce, you just focus. It's very expensive to build a B2C brand. Most of you probably know that, but I never realized how expensive it is, because you're essentially buying your spot on Google, and Google is your business partner, whether you like it or you don't. And you might start with 20 keywords, you might go up to 60 keywords, whatever it is, there's a price to pay, and there's a price to pay for mistakes. And if you don't have the right organic SEO strategy, or you don't have the right budget for PPC, or you don't do the right affiliate deals, you burn through your cash very quickly and you're dead very quickly. So it's very, very important that you find the right people. I can tell you I fired at least 5 agencies, 3 freelancers. I still get frustrated. I find it the hardest thing in the world, digital marketing. And every day I learn something new about it. But you just have to be persistent and keep trying and trying to get the right solution. Social media, PR, all those things, they're wonderful. They don't necessarily drive sales. So unless you know exactly what social media channel you have, or you're collecting email addresses to help target those people, you might feel popular because everyone likes your page, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get revenue. So you just have to make sure your expectations are set of where you're going to drive actual sales and where you're going to drive brand awareness. Customer service, I already talked about, forefront of everything, make it real, go the extra mile. That is one way people will know you're a different website than others. Don't be afraid to modify your concept. I don't mean the vision, I mean, extending your business beyond what you're doing, going into other areas. Don't just say, well, we're just this, we're just doing this. I see a lot of venture capitalists-backed companies because they have one complete clear vision, and actually I believe with e-commerce, especially with the margins the way the business is, you should look for other revenue streams to make a profitable business, not just a scalable one. Don't underestimate mobile, right? There's someone in the audience today, I'm sorry, I forgot, I think it's Ida, her name is. She's launching my app today, I guess. Hi, Ida, I see you there. And that's something that, we haven't launched an app, and I guess she's created me one in 24 hours, so I'm really excited to see that. And finally, don't forget click and mortar, mortar and click. They go hand in hand. They're not enemies. They're best friends, and they work together. And I'm really excited if I have a store one day. Finally, never give up, okay? When my husband died, it was the worst tragedy of my life, and I still got up and I went to work and I built a business. So there's no reason to give up on any business. You just keep going, keep going, keep going, no matter what, and success follows you. That's it. Any questions, I guess? I don't know. Thank you.
Any questions from Louise, Søren, or Jeremy?
Yes, I have a question, if that's okay. I was looking through your site earlier, and I really like that you're like the chief editor of the whole site. I was just curious because I was looking through the product pages, and on every product page there's a comment from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are real. They are my comments.
Because
Yeah.
I was actually trying to look through almost all the products to see if it actually, because it was unique comments on all products.
Yeah.
So I was wondering now, you were talking about retail, and can you scale that to retail, and how long will you be able to be that personal?
Well, the thing is, maybe it's because my team know me so well, maybe because we're still relatively small, but they actually can quote me before I quote myself. So they'll say, oh, you'll say that. I say, yeah, I would say that. So, I mean, once you go to retail, when I mean retail, I still mean boutique retail. I'm not talking about being, a massive department store. I'm saying, a bespoke kind of very small boutique retail. That communication that value system that I have can be brought into people that are going to be talking to customers. Of course, it's not me, but whatever I say and how I treat customers can be conveyed, I think. But no, I mean, there is only one person that says one thing, but we try to get people to read my mind a little bit sometimes too, I guess.
Thank you.
Søren or Jeremy, any questions?
I'm also on your website, and I see you have give us a call and a phone number. Mm-hmm. So most of the startups and e-commerce companies I've worked with are text chat first and not phone first. So my question is phone both scalable and profitable, and how do you make it scalable?
We have chat. So we use open chat just as much as we use phone. So our chat's open 24/7. Our phone is open only till 9 till 8 p.m. So we equally are dependent on chat. However, the customers that we target are high-end customers, most of them. I mean, they're very affluent people. We sell to royal families. We sell to serial entrepreneurs. We sell to CEOs of banks. And you definitely have to have a phone number. How that's scalable? You have customer service call centers that are available, and as long as you have them trained very, very well, they should be able to handle any calls that you have. When you're dealing with designer high-end, you can't replace that just with a chat, because the buying behavior and the mentality is very different. It's like people shopping for a car. And they're spending 10,000, 18,000, 5,000 pounds on designer items. You need to have the call. So it's not avoidable. It's part of the sales cycle.
Søren?
Yeah, I'm thinking about your content on your site. As you're saying, it's very content driven. How do you go about A/B testing and looking at various contents and see how that work with the audience?
Sorry, about testing which content works with the audience?
Yeah, regarding of the products, as it is so personal for you, and just see which kind of content is working best.
You you can test the website, of course, with any testing, and you can use Hotjar, which we use to see, heat maps to see what people are coming on and off the site and the content, if they're reading it or they're coming off. Basically, if people are retweeting it, if they're commenting, if they're coming on to buy a product, they say, we've read it here, or we've seen it here. That's how we know if the content's working. It's more or less also if bloggers reblog it, you just see if it's going viral. If it's not going viral, then probably what you wrote isn't very interesting. So,
Sherry, thank you so much for not only sharing your story, but also so much about yourself. A big hand for Sherry Roberts. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.